Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about bringing up problems and boundaries to your partner. Now, this can be a bit of a tricky one, especially if for a long time you and your partner haven't been on great terms. It's sometimes trying to start a new way of discussion and bringing up things that maybe are a bit uncomfortable can be quite tricky if you've been butting heads for a long time, essentially. So basically, the first point that I want to get into is something that actually Jordan Peterson brings up quite a lot in his lectures. And you think what you want about him. I know a lot of people have different opinions on him. But what he says about this, I really, really do agree with. And basically, so he talks about a story about a dragon. And the story goes that this little girl has a dragon and everyone's ignoring about how big the dragon is getting until eventually it's the size of the whole house. Okay? And if you think about this in terms of bringing up arguments or keeping things inside about your partner, or things that there are problems that are just like big elephants in the room or big dragons in the room, it's best to tackle things when they're small. So when you first get annoyed at your partner, that's the best time to start bringing it up. You should not wait around and wait for them to change or wait for them to figure out what's going on. Because sometimes we expect our partners to be mind readers, and that's a really bad way to go. Your partner is not a mind reader. If you are angry with them or upset about them, or you want to enforce a boundary with them, you need to bring it up as soon as possible, because the longer it goes on, the more resentment you're going to feel towards them, the more likely it's going to make a bigger blowout later on down the road, which is what that story suggests about this dragon that gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it takes up the whole house. So it's best to tackle things when they are small. It's best to tackle issues when they are small. So the first time you get annoyed about your partner, about whatever it may be, or the first time you feel like you need to start enforcing a boundary, it's best to bring it up then while the issue is still small and it hasn't become a huge problem. Okay. The next point I want to get into is how to respond when boundaries are crossed. So if your partner crosses a boundary with you, then you need to not be afraid of your partner. You need to tell them basically what's going on. You need to say how you feel. So, for example, if it's something really severe, like in the most severest case, if they really step over a boundary with you, then what I would say is, I don't really like the way that you just said that to me. I don't really like the way that you just treated me. You know I don't like it when you do that, and now you've just gone and done it. So I'm just going to leave for a bit. You can call me when you're ready to apologize and be nicer to me, because at the moment I cannot tolerate what you've doing what you've done. Sometimes it's best to actually leave the situation, go and stay at a friend's place, go and stay at your parents' house, whatever it may be. Sometimes it's best to walk away. Now, other times when boundaries are crossed, it might not be that severe. So you might just say to them, look, we've talked about this. I don't like it when you do that. Please do not do that again. And you have to be firm so they know that you're serious. And you have to be willing to walk away. Okay, you have to be willing to say to them at some times that if you take things too far, I'm not going to stick around. I'm in a good mood. I don't want my day to be ruined. I don't want my week to be ruined. If you're on holiday, I don't want my holiday to be ruined. So I'm going to go and enjoy myself, and you can let me know when you're ready to be nice to me. And a lot of time you are going to have to do that, especially if your partner is always crossing your boundaries. So obviously as well, you need to sort of judge things as well, because if your partner is doing this a lot, crossing boundaries that you've already set up, right? If you already set up these boundaries, you already said to them what you don't like, what you do like, and they're crossing these boundaries, you sometimes may need to actually judge whether the relationship is still right for you. Because if your boundaries are getting crossed all the time and they're just walking all over you and they feel like they can walk all over you, then a lot of the time, there's nothing that can be done. But sometimes things can be done. Usually if you walk away and you say to them, look, let me know when you're going to be nice to me, come and apologize to me when you're ready, when you've let off some steam, whatever it may be. When you've done that, sometimes sometimes they're not going to change their behavior. But sometimes they will. Sometimes they will come up to you and say, or they'll call you up and say, look, I'm really sorry with the way that just what happened. Please come back, things like that. But other times, maybe they won't change. And if they don't change, even though you've put these boundaries in place and you've walked away and they still continue to put up their you're still having to continue to put up with their bad behavior, sometimes it's best to just let those people go. So you can't be afraid to be assertive. You can't be afraid of your partner. Because if you're afraid of your partner and you're walking around eggshells, that's not going to be a great existence for you. You should be able to feel comfortable enough in your relationship to be able to bring up the issues that are going on that you're concerned about. You should be able to bring up boundaries, the things that you can tolerate, the things that you can't tolerate, the things that you will let them do, the things that you will never allow them to do. So you need to figure out what those things are, okay? And you have to be assertive. You have to be assertive with your partner about these things. You can't be afraid. If you're afraid of your partner and you feel like you're walking around eggshells around them, it's probably not a good idea that you're with them. Obviously, it's not a good idea to just shut them out straight away, because you can probably work through these things if they're willing to. But the thing is that I found with most people is that they're not actually willing to work on their problems. And it's always best to assume that the person that you're with is how they're always going to be. So you can do this from the beginning, like when you go out on a first date with someone and they're acting in a certain way and perhaps you don't like it, you have to think, do I want to put up with this for the next 50 plus years if we get married, if we get children? Am I willing to put up with this? Because if not, and it's happening already on a first date, you have to assume they're always going to be that way. Because they very well could be, right? Don't go in naively thinking that you can change them, because most likely you will not. Most people are very unwilling to change. Usually after about the high school age, you'll find people are stuck in their last year of school, in mentality wise. After school, they're not really willing to grow anymore. They're not really willing to change. And you'll be surprised to find out that a lot of people are already set in their ways. Okay, it takes someone very mature, someone like you, because you're watching a self-help video. You're obviously someone who's actually willing to improve yourself, to try and make things work. And that makes you like way above so many, in fact, way above than the general population. So well done and congratulations for that. You're doing better than what you think. You're doing way better than what you think. So the last thing that I want to talk about is when you are bringing up problems and when you are bringing up the topic of boundaries with your partner, it's always best to begin in a friendly way. You don't have to go in all guns blazing and start an argument. You can begin in a friendly way. So let's say, for example, you don't like it when your partner leaves toast crumbs all over the kitchen counter after they've made some toast. Very small, but it's annoying. You're like, oh God, I really wish you would just wipe the surface. It takes a minute. Let's say that's a problem, that's an issue for you. So what you say to your partner is that, sometimes when I make toast, I leave crumbs everywhere and it really annoys me. I was wondering if do you feel the same way about that? Does it annoy you when I leave toast crumbs everywhere? And I think this is something that we can do. Maybe when we've both finished using the toaster and we've finished making our meal, we should just quickly wipe over the surface. In fact, you know what? I think because I do this so often, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave some kitchen wrap out, some kitchen towel wrap, and a spray bottle, disinfectant spray, just on the counter, so it's really close by, so we can both of us can very easily just clean the countertop when we want to. Because oh my God, I get so annoyed when I get toast crumbs everywhere. right? So you can begin in a friendly way. You don't always have to be like, you do this, pointing the finger at you. Sometimes people will come to you more softly if to begin with you're pointing the finger at yourself. Even if it's a bit of a white lie and it's not actually something you do. Perhaps you always wipe down the kitchen counter when you've made toast. And you'd never leave crumbs because that's something that you always do. But you can still do that because you're beginning in a friendly way. You don't, because generally people don't like it when you point the finger at them straight away and start blaming them. You can always begin in a friendly way and talk about your shortcomings first. And that usually can help dissolve the situation and it won't be as fiery. So that was my advice on bringing up problems and boundaries in your relationship. Remember what I said, try and tackle these things while they're small and you haven't harbored years and years of resentment. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.